Most people don't fail their diet because of calories, they fail because the food genuinely sucks. Today we're making a black pepper chicken stir fry. It's easy, it's simple, and it tastes absolutely incredible. This right here is all of the ingredients we're going to need for today's recipe, plus the additions of oil, salt, pepper, and rice. Now we'll start off with the vegetables. We're going to need one red bell pepper or capsicum, and we can just slice around the core. You can stand it up or you can slice it in half, but whatever way you do it, just make sure you pick out any of that pith and seeds. And we're also going to do the same thing with one green bell pepper or capsicum. Now these are both interchangeable. Just use whichever one's cheapest. Right now in Australia, the red ones are ridiculously expensive. I actually got this one a little bit cheaper, so I'm going to use a combination of both. Once they're all cleaned up, all we need to do is go through and thinly slice. You can also dice them if you prefer, but I like to dice non-strips throughout the stir fry. Just makes it look a lot better. Also, something to remember, the thinner they are, the quicker they're going to cook, and the thicker they are, the longer they're going to take. Slice off both ends from one large brown or yellow onion, slice it in half and then peel it. With the onion, you can either thinly slice this or you can dice it. Same with the capsicums or bell peppers, I just like the long strands. It looks and cooks a lot better in a stir fry. Thinly slice or roughly chop 5 cloves of garlic. I like to thinly slice these as you have a better surface area and you get that nice nutty flavor all over. You can also grate them, but grating is super fine and it has a higher chance of burning, especially when we're doing a stir fry because it's a fast, quick cooking sort of dish. And the best overall one to do for this dish is thinly sliced. If you have spring onions or scallions available, we can use them. Don't go out and buy a whole bunch just to use 2. And all I'm doing with these is thinly slicing them. Half of it's going to be used in the stir fry and the other half's going to be used as a garnish, or you can use them both, the whole thing in the stir fry, it doesn't really matter. And if you prefer, you can cut these on a diamond angle to create a better presentation. But for this recipe, it's all going straight in. It's all going to get mixed together. Doesn't really matter too much. Now for the sauce, we're going to need 1/4 cup of chicken stock, 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce. This is just for color. You don't have to use it if you don't have it. 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of corn flour or cornstarch. I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of cracked black pepper. With this, just give it a whisk, make sure everything's evenly combined, mainly concentrating on breaking up that corn flour or cornstarch. And you will need to mix this again because the cornstarch or corn flour does settle on the bottom, so it will need to be mixed back in. But once that's done, we can pop this aside for the time being. Now lastly for the chicken, we're going to need 800 grams or 1.7 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh. You can use chicken breast if you prefer. For me personally, I'm just going to slice this into thin strips. The smaller the better. You're going to get an even cook and a really nice color on the chicken. You can also dice them if you prefer. That choice is all yours. You can go through and trim off any excess fat if you like to, but with thigh meat, it just adds extra flavor and helps keep the chicken moist, especially if we're going to be reheating this. Now add your sliced or diced chicken into a mixing bowl. I'm going to add just a touch of salt. Don't go too overboard because there is salt in that soy sauce. Add in a nice big pinch of cracked black pepper, about 30 cracks worth. And I'm also going to add in about 1 teaspoon of peanut oil. Use clean hands, just give all of this a nice mix through, make sure that cracked black pepper is coating absolutely everything and none of those chicken pieces are stuck together. And that's it for the prep. Once you have everything ready to go, it's just as simple as cooking it, and with a stir fry, everything's nice and quick. And what you should have is something that looks like this. Now there's a lot of people out there that think that muscle gain and weight loss comes from training harder, but in reality, nutrition does most of the work, and there's loads of diets out there as well. You don't really know what it's doing to your body. You can eat clean, track your calories, hit your protein, and still feel unsure what's going on, because when you're stepping onto a scale, it's only showing a weight. It's not actually showing you what that weight is made up of, and that's why I love using the Hume Health Body Pod. It shows my body composition, lean mass, fat mass, and how those numbers change over time with what I'm eating, just taking out any of the guesswork week to week. I can actually see whether my nutrition is supporting that weight loss, muscle gain, or neither, which is especially useful when you're meal prepping these types of meals or following a structured diet. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making, and I'm personally a culprit of this as well, is cutting food, training harder, adding cardio, but not actually seeing what's going on inside of your body. Just having proper composition data at your hands is super helpful. You can adjust your nutrition, do what you need to do just to make it work for yourself, and it just gives you that peace of mind with everything that's going on. So go check out the Hume Health Body Pod. I have a link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Use my code ChefJack at the checkout. You're going to get yourself 20% off, and they also have a discount going as well. So those two together, you're going to get 50% off. It's a great piece of kit. I love using it, and thank you to Hume Health for sponsoring this video. Let's get cooking. Now we'll get a large saucepan onto our stovetop, add in 1.5 cups of washed jasmine rice, 550 milliliters or 550 grams of cold water. And I like to season my rice, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Get this over a high heat. give it a quick stir just to prevent any clumps, and we can bring this up to a boil. Now with this at a boil, place on a lid, reduce the heat to low, and then cook this for 12 minutes undisturbed. After the 12 minutes, turn it off the heat, but leave it on the stovetop and leave that lid on for a final 4 minutes just to finish off steaming, and I'm going to move this out of the way. In the meantime, we can place a large wok over a high heat and get this really nice and hot. Now we're looking for the wok to slightly start smoking, and then we can add in 1 tablespoon of peanut oil. This is just a neutral oil. Add in all of that chicken. Just get this nice and hot. Give this a quick mix around, just make sure none of it's sitting on top of one another and it's not all stuck together. If your wok's on the smaller side or your pan, just do this in batches to avoid overcrowding it. Just let this cook for a couple of minutes to build up a crust and a little bit of golden color. So once you've started to build up a little bit of color on the bottom of that wok as well as on the chicken, we just mix this through and continue cooking for a further 2 to 3 minutes, just until that chicken is cooked through. So once you're happy with it, you got that really nice golden color. There's a nice crust forming on that chicken. We can then take this off the heat and just place it into a bowl. And then we can place that same wok back over a high heat, getting this nice and hot again. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of chicken in there, it's all extra flavor. Add in 1 tablespoon of peanut oil or any neutral flavored oil. And this time we're going to add in the vegetables, which is the onions and bell peppers. Mix these around. All we're going to do is stir fry these for a couple of minutes until they've softened. They're going to naturally deglaze the pan as well. Onions hold a lot of moisture, so once that comes out, it's going to rip up all of that chicken flavor left at the bottom of the wok, just creating even more flavor within our dish. And like I said at the beginning, when we've cut those capsicums nice and thin, everything's just going to cook a whole lot quicker. If you've cut it a little bit thicker, it's just going to take a little bit longer. Now after a couple of minutes, you've got a really nice smoky flavor coming on. You've got a nice caramelization happening on those onions. We can introduce that garlic. Cook this down for about 30 seconds just to get that nice fragrance in the pan. We don't want to cook this too far as it can potentially burn and turn bitter. So just keep moving it around regularly till you get that nice fragrance within the pan. Now at this point, we can add our chicken back in. Give our sauce a whisk. Like I said, that corn flour and starch can settle at the bottom. And then just add all of that in there as well. I'm going to add a touch of those spring onions, saving the rest for garnish. And all we need to do is just mix this around. Make sure that that sauce is nice and thick. You can add more pepper if you want, but I think the amount we've added is probably just the right amount. All we need to do with this is cook it for a couple of minutes until it's nice and thick and everything is evenly coated in that sauce. And you'll have a beautiful color as well. And that's mainly from that dark soy sauce. If you haven't used it, it will be a lot lighter in color, just a heads up. Also, this isn't one of those stir fries that's drowning in sauce. If you prefer to have it a little bit more saucy, you can add more soy sauce and chicken stock. But for this one, it's perfect consistency when everything is just nicely coated like so. Once you have something that looks like this though, we can remove it from the heat. Now with our rice, it's been cooking for 12 minutes and I've let it rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. We can remove that lid, just be careful of any steam. Then use a fork or a spatula and just fluff this up. It's nice, sticky, soft jasmine rice, exactly how we want it. You should have something that looks like this. Now you can serve this up however you like. You can weigh the total amount of all of the ingredients and then divide it evenly that way, or you can just go by eye, which is what I'm doing. Next to the rice, we'll add that black pepper chicken. This looks and smells absolutely incredible. Like I said, there isn't much sauce to this, and if you do want it to be a little bit more saucy, you can add some more chicken stock and a little bit more of that low sodium soy sauce, but that choice is all yours. The last thing to do is add over that remaining spring onion or scallion if you've decided to use it, just for that little pop of color, and you can add over a few more sprinkles of that cracked black pepper as well if you'd like to. Once you have them portioned out, let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes and then we can place on the lids. They'll last 4 days in the fridge and 4 months in the freezer. If you have them frozen, allow them to thaw overnight in the fridge before trying to reheat. And to reheat, just heat them up in the microwave for about 3 minutes, mixing it around halfway through. There's only one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. Absolutely delicious.